Hey there, my name is Arondelsi, and in this video I will be adding a hero section to my Next.js web application. This is how it will look like on the desktop. It consists of multiple parts. First one is the gradient that is behind the hero section. It is overflowing on the header. Next part is the left side of the section and the right side. Right side is looking kind of like a code editor with some code in it, and on the left side we have some text. And this is how mobile version looks like. I will be starting with the mobile version because I'm doing mobile version first. I went back to the header component and added height of 70 pixels because I forgot to do that when implementing the header itself. I created a home hero block, and I usually start by implementing the overall structure, and then I add the styles itself. I also created code editor component, which is just returning the code for now that I pass into it. I'm using it here. And this is how it looks right now. So I can see that everything is displaying correctly. In terms of the layout, I have a banner here and I have it here. Then I have a left side and right side of the hero section. So I have a container and left side and right side. On the right side, I have an editor. On the left side, I have a headline and a paragraph. So I have it here. And then I have a button. And the last part is the span, and I have it to implement this kind of rounded bottom of the hero section. In the Tailwind, I added my main colors. It is heliotrope and turquoise. And then on the container, I added a gradient from heliotrope to turquoise. And this is how it is looking right now. Next, I removed the background from the header. Next, I modified the container a bit. So now by default, container has padding left and padding right CSS style set. Now by default, container has padding left and padding right set to 15 pixels. And next I added the banner. So it works like this. I have a banner config here, and I can set it to null if I don't want to display the banner, and otherwise I have a label and a link properties to control what banner displays. So let me demonstrate. I have a banner here. This is how the banner look like, and if I go back and set it to be null instead, you can see that the banner hid. I also went back and added white 600 color to the Tailwind, so then I can use it in hover instead of using raw color. Okay, now I implemented the texts, and I also hid the code editor because it is looking kind of ugly with it, and I will not have time to implement the code editor today. And for the future, I added overflow xHidden class, so when the code editor overflows over the block will be not causing the horizontal scroll. Just finished developing the left side of the hero block, and I had to do a lot of changes on the code. First of all, the button. I did a lot of new properties here. So first, we have a color. It was before. I added new color here in Nero and white. Then on the size I added, it was by default it was always small because on the desktop sign-in button in the header it is small. So now I added medium and extra small. Okay, I just removed the rounded property because I don't actually need it. So then the trailing we had it before. Also I have a weight which corresponds to font weight of the button, and then the variant. So the idea of the variant, if it is undefined, that means that the button doesn't need any variant. So it just means it basically means that it just needs an empty button without any class names, without anything. Then we have a field, so that is when the color applied to the background, and then we have the outline, that is when the color is applied to the text color and to the border color. So now let's jump into classes. I removed the base class names that I had before. I have only 3 class names now for the base: inline flex, item center, and transition. I'm setting this for all the buttons that have the variant not undefined. And this is because right now I don't have any kind of specific configuration for the font sizes and line height. Then I'm setting the font normal and font medium depending on the weight property. Then I'm setting rounded full if there is a variant. Then I have padding left, padding right class names. These classes are set depending on the size, leading, trailing properties, and the variant. So as you can see, I'm just changing different padding left and padding right depending on the size. And the presence of the leading icon and trailing icon. And then I have vertical paddings depending on the size. So then goes the text color and background color. These are completely dependent on the variant and the colors itself. And I see right now that I missed the color Nero. Okay, so I did color Nero, and then I have a border which is set depending on if the button is outlined. I just merged the border class names inside of this one. They anyway had the same conditions, so I just merged them. And then I am setting gap 6 if there is a variant on the button and the class names. My light just died. So, and then I'm setting the class name of gap 6 if the class name provided does not include a gap word in it. Yeah, so that were the old changes that I did for the button component. On the header component, I just went back and added all the needed properties here. So on the sign in button, I added size small, color transparent, it was before, and variant field. And then on the basic, I also replaced all the HTML buttons with my button component. Yeah, not much changed, I just changed to use the component. It is exactly the same. And then the use case for the back button, as you can see here, I have a color Nero, class name gap1. So that is why I have this condition to set gap only if there is no gap word inside of class name. And then the weight medium here. And then on the hero block itself, I also replaced this one with a button that is rendered as a link. And then here I have an actual button, but it will also be a link that will lead to some specific page later. It is as easy as just making it a link like this and adding the hyperlink reference like this. I mean, as you can see, there is nothing changed, we just replaced it to render as a link. Yeah, so overall I finished the blog, and there's one problem left, it is the back button. So right now I did not implement the reference for the button, and yeah, I will leave it for tomorrow. I did not touch it on the desktop yet, but it already looks kind of good. Yeah, and I finished on this for today, so let's just commit my changes. So it was day 11, like this, and yeah, thank you for watching and have a good day.